Chapter 1. The Ancient Aromas. Embarking on a fragrant journey through the annals of history, we delve into the ancient world of perfumery, where aromatic concoctions were not just scents, but sacred elixirs, symbols of status, and pathways to the divine. From the mystical rituals of ancient Egypt to the fragrant bazaars of Mesopotamia, and the intricate traditions of perfumery in ancient India, the olfactory tapestry of the ancient world unfolds, revealing the cultural, spiritual, and social significance of perfumes across civilizations. Ancient Egypt, a perfumed odyssey. In the sprawling sands of the Nile, ancient Egypt emerged as a cradle of perfumery, where aromatic substances transcended their earthly nature to become offerings to gods and companions in the afterlife. Perfumes in ancient Egypt were not mere adornments. They were intricately woven into the fabric of daily life, religious ceremonies, and burial rituals. 1. Sacred offerings and rituals. Perfumes were sacred offerings to the gods in Egyptian religious practices. Temples were infused with fragrances, and priests burned aromatic resins like frankincense and myrrh, believed to connect the earthly realm with the divine. The act of anointing with perfumed oils was not just a cosmetic ritual, but a sacred gesture, symbolizing purification and divine connection. 2. Burial customs. Perfumes played a profound role in burial customs. The ancient Egyptians believed in an afterlife, and scented oils were essential in the embalming process to preserve the body. The Book of the Dead, a guide to the afterlife, detailed the use of perfumes, ensuring the deceased would be surrounded by familiar and comforting scents on their journey. 3. Trade and exotic ingredients. Egypt, with its strategic location, became a hub for the trade of exotic ingredients. Fragrant materials like myrrh, frankincense, and spices were imported from regions such as the Arabian Peninsula and India. The blending of these ingredients resulted in unique and sought-after perfumes that spoke of opulence and luxury. Mesopotamia, fragrance in the cradle of civilization. In the fertile lands between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization, witnessed the flourishing of perfumery as an art form deeply intertwined with daily life, religious practices, and social customs. 1. Cuneiform tablets and perfume recipes. Mesopotamian civilizations left behind cuneiform tablets containing valuable insights into their perfumery practices. These tablets, found in ancient cities like Ur and Nippur, detailed perfume recipes, shedding light on the meticulous craftsmanship involved in creating scented concoctions. Ingredients ranged from flowers and herbs to resins and spices. 2. Religious significance. Perfumes held religious significance in Mesopotamia, much like in Egypt. Temples were adorned with scents, and priests used incense burners during ceremonies. The belief in the divine properties of fragrances extended to everyday life, where individuals anointed themselves with perfumed oils to invoke protection and blessings. 3. Trade routes and exotic imports. Mesopotamia's position at the crossroads of ancient trade routes facilitated the exchange of aromatic treasures. Myrrh, frankincense, and cedar wood, among other exotic materials, were imported from distant lands, enriching Mesopotamian perfumery with a diverse palette of scents. Ancient India, Fragrant Vedic traditions. In the sacred verses of the Vedas, ancient India unfolds as a land where perfumery was elevated to an art form deeply entrenched in spiritual practices, Ayurvedic traditions, and the opulent lifestyles of royalty. 1. Ayurveda and scented medicines. Ayurveda, the ancient Indian system of medicine, incorporated the use of fragrances for therapeutic purposes. Scented oils and balms were crafted with a focus on balancing doshas, promoting well-being, and aligning with the holistic principles of Ayurveda. Fragrances were not just cosmetic, but integral to health and harmony. 2. Vedic rituals and agarbhattis. Vedic rituals in ancient India involved the burning of fragrant materials, known as dup or agarbatti. These aromatic fumes were believed to purify the air, appease deities, and create a spiritually charged environment. Sandalwood, camphor, and various resins were commonly used in these rituals. 3. Luxurious attars and perfumed oils. The ancient Indian royalty was renowned for their indulgence in luxurious perfumes. Attars, concentrated perfumes derived through the distillation of flowers, herbs, and spices, became synonymous with opulence. These attars were often worn by kings and queens, and used as gifts to forge alliances. Ancient China. Aromatic elegance in the Middle Kingdom. In the heart of the Middle Kingdom, ancient China embraced the art of perfumery as a refined expression of elegance and sophistication. The use of fragrances extended from imperial courts to everyday life, where perfumes became symbols of grace and beauty. 1. Incense and Taoist practices. Incense played a central role in ancient Chinese Taoist practices. Aromatic materials, ranging from herbs to precious woods, were burned to create fragrant smoke believed to elevate the spirit and facilitate meditation. The intertwining of scent and spirituality became an integral aspect of Chinese culture. 2. Courtly elegance and imperial perfumes. The imperial courts of ancient China were immersed in the world of perfumery. Emperors and empresses indulged in bespoke fragrances created by skilled perfumers. The use of perfumed sachets and garments infused with scents became a distinctive feature of courtly elegance. 3. Silk Road influences. The Silk Road, the ancient trade route connecting East and West, brought an array of aromatic treasures to China. Exotic spices, resins, and floral essences were imported, enriching the local perfumery with a diverse palette. The blending of indigenous ingredients with those from distant lands resulted in unique Chinese perfumery traditions. Greece and Rome. Fragrance in the classical world. The classical civilisations of Greece and Rome celebrated perfumery as an integral part of their lavish lifestyles, where scents adorned bodies, adorned homes, and even flavoured culinary delights. 1. Grecian elegance and mythological scents. Ancient Greece revelled in the art of perfumery, where fragrances were associated with both beauty and the divine. Mythological tales told of gods and goddesses favouring particular scents, and perfumes were crafted to emulate these divine aromas. Floral fragrances, especially those of roses and violets, were highly prized. 2. Oils, balms, and rituals in Rome. Rome inherited the perfumed legacy of Greece and elevated it to new heights of extravagance. Perfumed oils and balms were ubiquitous in Roman society, used not only for personal adornment, but also in social rituals and public baths. Lavish banquets featured fragrant flowers, and the air was infused with the scents of exotic balsams. 3. Amphory and fragrance storage. The Romans were pioneers in developing methods for fragrance storage. Amphory, large vessels with narrow necks, were designed to preserve the potency of in the rich tapestry of antiquity. Scented traditions flourished as vibrant threads weaving through the cultural, spiritual, and social fabric of ancient civilizations, from the sacred rituals of Egypt to the opulent courts of China. Each thread contributed to a mosaic of aromas that transcended the boundaries of time. This exploration unravels the intricate details of these scented traditions, offering a sensory journey through the aromas that defined the ancient world. Egyptian mystique, aromatic alchemy, and divine offerings. In the ancient land of Egypt, scent was more than a fleeting pleasure. It was a bridge to the divine. The alchemy of aromatic substances unfolded in sacred temples, lavish palaces, and the everyday lives of Egyptians. 1. Divine fragrance for the gods. Perfumery in ancient Egypt was deeply entwined with religious practices. Temples were adorned with aromatic offerings, and priests, considered the earliest perfumers, meticulously blended scents to honor their deities. Frankincense, myrrh, and kyphi, a complex incense mixture, were key components in these divine concoctions. 2. Anointing and cosmetics. Anointing with perfumed oils was a daily ritual in ancient Egypt, transcending the secular and the sacred. The act of anointing, often accompanied by intricate cosmetics, was not just a cosmetic enhancement, but a symbol of purification and divine connection. Perfumed oils were applied to the skin, hair, and even clothing. 3. Kyphi, the sacred incense. Kyphi, a legendary aromatic blend, stood at the pinnacle of Egyptian perfumery. Comprising a symphony of ingredients such as myrrh, honey, wine, and aromatic resins, kyphi was crafted into small cones or balls. When burned, it released a fragrant smoke believed to purify the air and invoke divine favor. Mesopotamian aromas, fragrance in daily life and rituals. The cradle of civilization, Mesopotamia, witnessed the blossoming of perfumery as an integral part of daily life, religious ceremonies, and social customs. Fragrance permeated the air in temples, palaces, and the bustling markets of ancient cities. 1. Incense in temples. Mesopotamian temples were sanctuaries of scent, where incense burners infused the air with fragrant fumes. Incense played a crucial role in religious rituals, symbolizing purification and serving as a conduit between the mortal and divine realms. Aromatic substances like myrrh, cedar, and juniper were commonly used. 2. Perfumed oils and balms. Mesopotamian texts reveal the sophistication of their perfumery practices. Perfumed oils and balms were crafted with a meticulous blend of natural ingredients. Cuneiform tablets contain recipes detailing the preparation of these scented concoctions, emphasizing the importance of precise measurements and proportions. 3. Trade routes and exotic imports. Mesopotamia's strategic location at the crossroads of trade routes facilitated the exchange of aromatic treasures. Exotic ingredients like myrrh, frankincense, and spices were imported from distant lands, enriching Mesopotamian perfumery with a diverse palette of scents. India's fragrant tapestry, Ayurvedic aromatherapy, and attas. In ancient India, fragrance was intertwined with spirituality, healing practices, and the lavish lifestyles of royalty. The art of perfumery flourished, leaving an indelible mark on India's rich cultural heritage. 1. Ayurvedic aromatherapy. Ayurveda, the ancient Indian system of medicine, recognized the therapeutic properties of fragrances. Scented oils, known as snehana, were used in Ayurvedic practices to balance doshas, promote well-being, and enhance spiritual experiences. Fragrances were selected based on their impact on the mind, body, and spirit. 2. Attas, essence of opulence. Ancient Indian royalty reveled in the allure of attas, concentrated perfumes derived through the distillation of flowers, herbs, and spices. The process of extracting attas involved a meticulous and labor-intensive technique, resulting in pure, potent fragrances. Rose, jasmine, and sandalwood attas became synonymous with opulence and luxury. 3. Dhoop sticks and spiritual harmony. The burning of aromatic materials, known as dhoop, was an integral part of spiritual practices in ancient India. Dhoop sticks, crafted from a blend of fragrant herbs, resins, and spices, were burned to purify the air and create a spiritually charged ambience during rituals and ceremonies. China, incense and imperial elegance. In ancient China, fragrance was elevated to an art form, influencing imperial courts, Taoist practices, and everyday life. Incense played a central role in spiritual pursuits, while the imperial courts indulged in bespoke perfumes. 1. Incense and Taoist practices. Ancient China embraced incense as a medium to connect with the spiritual realm. Aromatic materials, ranging from sandalwood to medicinal herbs, were burned during Taoist rituals and meditation. The fragrant smoke was believed to elevate the spirit and facilitate communication with deities. 2. Imperial perfumery. The imperial courts of ancient China were immersed in the world of perfumery. Emperors and empresses indulged in bespoke fragrances, often crafted by skilled perfumers. The use of perfumed sachets and garments infused with scents became a distinctive feature of courtly elegance. 3. Aromas of the Silk Road. China's position along the Silk Road exposed it to a diverse array of aromatic treasures. Exotic spices, resins, and floral essences from distant lands enriched Chinese perfumery. Local artisans blended indigenous ingredients with these exotic imports, resulting in unique and sophisticated fragrances. Greece and Rome, fragrant legacies of antiquity. The classical civilisations of Greece and Rome embraced perfumery as a luxurious indulgence, adorning bodies, homes, and festivities with fragrant creations. Perfumery became an expression of beauty, social status, and cultural refinement. In the tapestry of ancient societies, fragrance was not just a luxury or a cultural expression. It played a crucial role in medicinal practices, weaving through the fabric of healing traditions across civilizations. From the aromatic apothecaries of ancient Egypt to the Ayurvedic gardens of India, fragrances were harnessed for their therapeutic properties, offering remedies for physical ailments, spiritual disharmony, and a holistic approach to well-being. Ancient Egypt, healing aromas and divine connections. In the mystical realm of ancient Egypt, fragrance was an integral part of both physical and spiritual healing. The aromatic treasures of the Nile Delta were harnessed to create balms, oils, and incense that served medicinal and ritualistic purposes. 1. Aromatherapy in medicine. The ancient Egyptians were pioneers in the use of aromatherapy for medicinal purposes. Essential oils extracted from aromatic plants such as frankincense, myrrh, and juniper were incorporated into balms and ointments. These formulations were applied topically to alleviate physical ailments, from skin conditions to respiratory issues. 2. Temples as healing sanctuaries. Temples in ancient Egypt were not only centers of religious worship, but also healing sanctuaries where fragrances played a vital role. The burning of incense, often composed of medicinal herbs, contributed to the purification of the temple space and was believed to facilitate divine healing. 3. Spiritual connection and well-being. Fragrances were seen as conduits for spiritual connection and overall well-being. Anointing with scented oils was a ritualistic act symbolizing purification and alignment with divine forces. The belief in the holistic nature of fragrance touched not only the physical body but also the soul, emphasizing a harmonious balance between the two. Mesopotamia, aromatic elixirs and cuneiform remedies. In the cradle of civilization, Mesopotamia, aromatic elixirs were crafted as remedies for a myriad of ailments. Cuneiform tablets reveal the meticulous blending of fragrances in the pursuit of physical and spiritual health. 1. Cuneiform prescriptions. Mesopotamian medical texts inscribed in cuneiform script on clay tablets contain a treasure trove of aromatic prescriptions. These remedies often featured a combination of botanical ingredients such as myrrh, cypress, and cedar, known for their medicinal properties. The concoctions were applied or ingested to address specific health issues. 2. Incense for healing rituals. Incense played a vital role in Mesopotamian healing rituals. The burning of aromatic substances during ceremonies was believed to purify the air and create a healing environment. Incense burners adorned with intricate designs were used to release fragrant fumes, providing a sensory backdrop to the healing process. 3. Trade routes and medicinal imports. Mesopotamia's strategic location along trade routes facilitated the exchange of medicinal aromatic treasures. Exotic substances, including myrrh and frankincense from the Arabian Peninsula, were imported and integrated into local healing practices. These imported fragrances were valued for their perceived potency and healing virtues. Ancient India, Ayurvedic aromatherapy and scented harmony. In the ancient Indian subcontinent, fragrance took center stage in the holistic system of medicine known as Ayurveda. Aromatherapy, infused with spiritual principles, became a cornerstone of well-being. 1. Ayurvedic oils and balms. Ayurvedic texts, such as the Charaka Samhita and Sushruta Samhita, detailed the preparation of aromatic oils and balms for therapeutic purposes. These formulations, often infused with herbs, spices, and floral essences, were applied through massage or topical application to address a range of physical and mental imbalances. 2. Dosha balancing with fragrances. Ayurveda categorizes individuals into 3 doshas: Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, representing different elemental constitutions. Fragrances were selected based on their ability to balance specific doshas. For example, calming scents like lavender and sandalwood were recommended for Vata imbalances, while cooling fragrances like mint and rose helped pacify Pitta. 3. Attas and therapeutic aroma. Attas, concentrated perfumes derived through the distillation of flowers, herbs, and spices, became a hallmark of Ayurvedic aromatherapy. Sandalwood atta, rose atta, and jasmine atta were prized for their therapeutic aroma. These attas were not only appreciated for their pleasing scents, but also for their potential to evoke emotional and mental well-being. Ancient China, incense for health and harmony. In the ancient Middle Kingdom, China, the use of incense was intricately woven into medicinal practices, fostering a connection between physical health and spiritual harmony. 1. Taoist incense practices. Taoist traditions in ancient China embraced incense as a medium for achieving spiritual and physical balance. The burning of incense during Taoist rituals and meditation was believed to purify the air, promote relaxation, and enhance the flow of vital energy, or qi, throughout the body. 2. Herbal aromatics in medicine. Herbal aromatics played a crucial role in traditional Chinese medicine. Fragrant herbs like mint, ginger, and cinnamon were incorporated into medicinal formulations to address various health conditions. The holistic approach of Chinese medicine emphasized the interconnectedness of body, mind, and spirit. 3. Aromas of imperial courts. The imperial courts of ancient China indulged in the opulence of scented therapies. Fragrant sachets, crafted with a blend of herbs and spices, were worn or placed in living spaces to promote health and ward off negative influences. The use of scents was not only a matter of personal well-being, but also a symbol of status and refinement. Greece and Rome. Herbal remedies and aromatic baths. In the classical civilizations of Greece and Rome, aromatic remedies and fragrant bathing rituals were integral components of medical practices and personal care. 1. Herbal remedies in Greece. Ancient Greek physicians, such as Hippocrates, recognized the healing properties of fragrant herbs. Herbal infusions and concoctions were prescribed to address ailments ranging from digestive issues to respiratory conditions. The famous physician Galen further contributed to the understanding of herbal medicine. 2. Therapeutic baths in Rome. Roman society embraced the concept of therapeutic baths infused with fragrant oils and herbs. Bathhouses, such as the Baths of Caracalla, featured expansive spaces where individuals could indulge in aromatic bathing rituals. Essential oils like lavender and chamomile were added to the water for their calming and soothing effects. 3. Scented oils for massage. Both Greece and Rome adopted the practice of scented oil massages for therapeutic benefits. Fragrant oils, often infused with herbs and floral essences, were applied to the body during massages. This not only contributed to physical well-being, but also created a sensory experience that touched upon the emotional and psychological realms. Across civilizations, shared themes in medicinal fragrance, while the specific herbs, practices, and formulations varied across ancient civilizations, certain shared themes emerged in the medicinal use of fragrance. 1. Holistic approach. In ancient societies, the use of fragrance for healing was inherently holistic. It addressed not only physical symptoms, but also considered the interconnectedness of mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Fragrance was one. Grecian floral elegance. Ancient Greece reveled in the beauty of floral fragrances. Roses, violets, and lilies were cherished for their delicate scents and symbolic significance. Floral wreaths were worn, and perfumed oils adorned the skin, embodying the Grecian ideals of beauty and grace. 2. Roman extravagance. Rome inherited the perfumed legacy of Greece and elevated it to new heights of extravagance. Perfumed oils and balms were ubiquitous in Roman society, used not only for personal adornment, but also in social rituals and public parks. Lavish banquets featured fragrant flowers, and the air was infused with the scents of exotic balsams. 3. Aromatic gardens and festivals. Both Greece and Rome celebrated aromatic gardens as spaces of sensory delight. Lavish festivals were adorned with flowers and fragrances, creating an atmosphere of opulence and merriment. The concept of the pomerium, a garden dedicated to fragrant plants, exemplified the importance of scent in daily life. Across civilizations, universal themes in ancient perfumery. While each ancient civilization had its distinct perfume traditions, certain universal theme. Chapter 2. Perfume and power. Perfume, throughout history, been more than a delightful sensory experience. It has been a symbol of power, prestige, and influence. From the opulent courts of Renaissance Europe to the majestic palaces of imperial China, perfume has been intricately woven into the tapestry of power dynamics, serving as a tool for expression, diplomacy, and the embodiment of authority. Renaissance Europe, fragrance as a sign of nobility. In the courts of Renaissance Europe, perfume became a potent symbol of nobility and sophistication. The elite class, including kings, queens, and the aristocracy, embraced perfumery not only for its aromatic allure, but also as a marker of status and wealth. 1. Aristocratic indulgence. The Renaissance era witnessed a flourishing interest in the arts, sciences, and luxury goods. Perfumery, with its alchemical allure, became a fascination of the elite. Nobles indulged in the creation of bespoke fragrances, often crafted by skilled perfumers employed at court. 2. Personalized scents or perfumes were tailored to individual preferences, reflecting the distinct tastes and personalities of the nobility. The creation of personalized scents became a form of artistic expression and a means for individuals to distinguish themselves in the intricate web of courtly interactions. 3. Diplomatic gifts. Perfumes emerged as diplomatic tools, exchanged as lavish gifts between European courts. Monarchs used fragrances not only to express goodwill but also to showcase the wealth and cultural refinement of their realms. These aromatic gifts were laden with political significance, forging alliances and strengthening diplomatic ties. 4. The rise of perfume houses. The demand for exquisite fragrances led to the establishment of perfume houses catering to the elite. These establishments, often run by skilled perfumers and alchemists, created signature scents for noble patrons. The iconic Italian perfume house, Santa Maria Novella, founded in the early 17th century, is a testament to this era of perfumed opulence. 5. Pomanders and fashion statements. Nobility adorned themselves with fragrant accessories, such as pomanders, scented balls filled with aromatic substances. These accessories served both practical and fashionable purposes, masking unpleasant odors and adding an extra layer of elegance to courtly attire. Imperial China. Fragrance as a symbol of authority. In the grand palaces of Imperial China, fragrance played a profound role in shaping the aura of power and authority. Emperors and empresses utilized perfumes not only for personal enjoyment, but also as a means to communicate status and express the majesty of the imperial court. 1. Courtly elegance. The imperial courts of China were immersed in a culture of refinement and elegance. Perfume was considered an essential component of personal grooming, and the imperial family set the standards for courtly elegance. Emperors and empresses were known to indulge in bespoke fragrances created by skilled court perfumers. 2. Scented gardens. The concept of scented gardens flourished in imperial China. Palatial gardens were meticulously landscaped with fragrant plants, flowers, and herbs. These gardens not only served as places of leisure, but also as immersive environments where the scent of blossoms contributed to the overall sensory experience of the imperial court. 3. Sandalwood and aromatics. Sandalwood, prized for its rich and exotic aroma, held a special place in Chinese perfumery. The use of sandalwood-based fragrances became synonymous with luxury and imperial tastes. Aromatic substances such as agarwood, musk, and camphor were also coveted for their unique and potent scents. 4. Symbolic meanings. Or fragrances in imperial China often carried symbolic meanings. Specific scents were associated with virtues, luck, and prosperity. Emperors, in particular, were mindful of the symbolic power of fragrance, using it to reinforce the perceived virtue and righteousness of their rule. 5. Scented accessories. The imperial court embraced scented accessories as expressions of authority. Imperial robes were adorned with fragrant sachets, and personal belongings, from fans to furnishings, were infused with scents. These aromatic details were not only personal indulgences, but also declarations of imperial presence and influence. Ottoman Empire, a perfumed realm of splendor. The Ottoman Empire, spanning 3 continents, created a perfumed realm of splendor where fragrance became an integral part of courtly rituals, social interactions, and expressions of power. 1. Scented ceremonies. The Ottoman court embraced scented ceremonies as a means of celebrating grand occasions. Fragrant substances such as rosewater, musk, and ambergris were used in abundance during weddings, coronations, and other significant events, enveloping the court in an aromatic ambience. 2. Luxurious attar traditions. Attars, concentrated perfumes derived through the distillation of flowers, herbs, and spices, held a revered status in Ottoman perfumery. The production of attars was elevated to an art form, and these precious elixirs were often exchanged as gifts among royalty and dignitaries. 3. Rose and jasmine elixirs. Roses and jasmine, with their intoxicating scents, were particularly favored in Ottoman perfumery. Rose water, in particular, became a staple in both culinary and cosmetic applications, adding a fragrant touch to the imperial kitchens and the personal grooming rituals of the court. 4. The influence of the harem. The harem, a secluded space within the Ottoman palace, played a significant role in the world of perfumery. Skilled perfumers and aromatherapists were employed to create personalized scents for the ladies of the harem, contributing to an atmosphere of sensory indulgence and refinement. 5. Aromatic trade routes. The Ottoman Empire, strategically positioned at the crossroads of trade routes, became a hub for aromatic treasures, spices, resins, and exotic materials from the East and the Mediterranean enriched Ottoman perfumery, creating a distinctive olfactory identity for the empire. Ancient Persia. The art of perfumery in the Persian courts. The Persian courts, with their rich cultural heritage, cultivated the art of perfumery as a form of artistic expression and a means to convey regal authority. 1. Persian perfume culture. Perfume culture in ancient Persia reflected a deep appreciation for the art of fragrance. Persian rulers, known for their appreciation of beauty and refinement, cultivated lush gardens filled with aromatic plants and flowers. 2. Rituals of personal grooming. Personal grooming rituals in the Persian courts included the use of perfumed oils, attars, and scented balms. These luxurious concoctions were applied not only for their aromatic qualities, but also for their skin-nourishing properties, contributing to the overall well-being of the courtiers. 3. Rose and citrus infusions. Persian perfumery often featured the essence of roses, a symbol of beauty and love. Citrus infusions, incorporating fruits like bergamot and citron, added a refreshing dimension to Persian fragrances. These scents were cherished for their ability to evoke positive emotions and uplift the spirit. 4. Spices and exotic ingredients. The Persian court embraced the use of spices and exotic ingredients in perfumery. Spices such as cardamom, cinnamon, and saffron were incorporated into fragrance. The intricate dance between fragrance and authority, influence, and social status is a tale woven through the annals of history, where scents have served as silent ambassadors of power, tools of influence, and markers of societal standing. From the courts of ancient civilizations to the modern boardrooms, the olfactory realm has been a subtle but potent instrument, shaping perceptions, forging connections, and leaving an indelible mark on the fabric of human interactions. Ancient civilizations, aromatic sovereignty, and religious authority. In the ancient world, fragrance was not merely a personal choice. It was a proclamation of authority and a conduit to the divine. Rulers, priests, and elites harnessed the power of scent to solidify their status and communicate with the divine. 1. Royal aromas. The pharaohs of ancient Egypt were synonymous with opulence and power. As earthly representatives of the gods, they utilized fragrances to distinguish themselves. Perfumed oils, aromatic resins, and incense became symbols of royal authority, with scents like myrrh and frankincense adorning the tombs and temples of the mighty. 2. Divine connotations. Fragrance played a pivotal role in religious practices, emphasizing the divine connection of rulers. Temples were drenched in incense, and priests anointed themselves with sacred oils, creating an environment where the olfactory experience was intertwined with spiritual authority. In Mesopotamia, the use of incense burners in temples signified the presence of the divine. 3. Symbolic offerings. Fragrant offerings were not only gestures of devotion, but also expressions of authority. Rulers and priests presented aromatic substances as gifts to gods, signaling their favor and seeking divine protection. These symbolic acts reinforced the notion of fragrances as conduits to realms beyond the earthly. Medieval and Renaissance Europe. Perfumed courts and nobility. In medieval and Renaissance Europe, the courts were immersed in the art of perfumery, where fragrances became essential components of courtly rituals, diplomacy, and expressions of nobility. 1. Courtly indulgence. The courts of Europe during the Middle Ages and the Renaissance were opulent realms where nobility reveled in fragrant luxury. Perfumed gloves, scented handkerchiefs, and intricately crafted pomanders adorned the aristocracy, creating an olfactory ambience that mirrored the refinement of courtly life. 2. Diplomatic fragrance. Fragrance emerged as a diplomatic tool, with rulers exchanging bespoke scents as symbols of goodwill and alliance. The crafting of personalized fragrances became an art, with skilled perfumers catering to the preferences of monarchs, reinforcing not only diplomatic ties, but also the cultural sophistication of the court. 3. Noble fragrance wardrobes. Nobility curated extensive fragrance wardrobes, featuring an array of scents for different occasions. Perfumed chambers were dedicated to storing aromatic treasures, and noble houses became veritable havens of olfactory indulgence. Scented apparel, from garments to accessories, became markers of social status and elegance. 4. Symbol of wealth. The cost of perfumes during this period was often exorbitant, contributing to their allure as symbols of wealth and prestige. Rare and exotic ingredients were sought after, and the possession of unique fragrances became a statement of social standing, as only the affluent could afford such aromatic extravagance. Imperial China. Aromatic elegance in the Middle Kingdom. In Imperial China, fragrance was intricately woven into the fabric of societal hierarchy, where the imperial courts set the standards for olfactory elegance, and perfumes became an emblem of refined authority. 1. Imperial perfumery. The imperial courts of China were immersed in the world of perfumery, with emperors and empresses indulging in bespoke fragrances created by skilled court perfumers. Perfume, in this context, was not merely a personal choice, but a reflection of imperial taste and authority. 2. Symbolic significance. Specific scents carried symbolic meanings, aligning with Confucian virtues and the principles of the imperial court. Fragrances were carefully chosen to reflect the virtuous character of the ruling dynasty and to convey a sense of harmony and order. 3. Courtly elegance. The use of perfumes extended beyond personal grooming to the realm of courtly rituals and ceremonies. Imperial robes were adorned with fragrant sachets, and the air in palaces was infused with exotic scents. Aromatic practices became integral to the overall aesthetic of the imperial court. 4. Scented gardens. The grand palaces of China featured scented gardens where fragrant plants and flowers were cultivated. These gardens were not only spaces of leisure, but also reflections of the imperial connection to nature and the art of perfumery. Ottoman Empire. Perfumed splendor and courtly rituals. In the Ottoman Empire, fragrance played a pivotal role in courtly rituals, social interactions, and expressions of authority, creating a perfumed realm of splendor. 1. Scented ceremonies. The Ottoman court embraced scented ceremonies, with fragrant substances like rosewater, musk, and ambergris used abundantly during grand occasions. Perfumed rituals became an integral part of celebrations, emphasizing the opulence and magnificence of the Ottoman court. 2. Luxurious attar traditions. Attars, concentrated perfumes derived through the distillation of flowers, herbs, and spices, held a revered status in Ottoman perfumery. The production of attars was elevated to an art form, with these precious elixirs exchanged as gifts among royalty and dignitaries. 3. Aromatic trade routes. The Ottoman Empire's strategic location at the crossroads of trade routes facilitated the exchange of aromatic treasures. Exotic spices, resins, and fragrant materials from the East enriched Ottoman perfumery, contributing to the creation of unique and captivating scents. 4. Symbol of prestige. Perfumes were not merely personal adornments, they were symbols of prestige and social standing. The quality and uniqueness of fragrances became markers of nobility, and the possession of rare scents conveyed a sense of elevated status within Ottoman society. Modern era. Corporate scents and boardroom influence. In the modern era, the influence of fragrance has transcended the confines of courts and palaces, infiltrating corporate boardrooms, where scents are strategically employed to shape perceptions and wield influence. 1. Corporate identity. In the business world, fragrances are utilized to create a distinct corporate identity. Companies invest in signature scents that align with their brand image, fostering a sensory connection with consumers. From luxury hotels to retail spaces, the olfactory experience becomes a key element in shaping brand perception. 2. Employee well-being. The use of fragrance in the workplace extends beyond brand identity. Scent perfumery, with its intricate blend of art and science, has woven a rich tapestry of captivating narratives and historical anecdotes that transport us through time and space. From the ancient rituals of Egypt to the aromatic bazaars of the Middle East and the perfumed courts of Europe, each tale unveils the fascinating evolution of scents and their profound impact on human culture. The ancient alchemy of fragrance. Our journey begins in the ancient world, where perfumery was as much an art form as it was a sacred practice. In the temples of Egypt, priests doubled as perfumers, engaging in alchemical pursuits to create fragrant offerings for the gods. The legendary Kai-Fi, an aromatic concoction of myrrh, honey, and various resins, was burned as incense, believed to bridge the mortal realm with the divine. Cleopatra's seductive charms. No exploration of perfumery is complete without the enigmatic Cleopatra, the Queen of the Nile. Historical accounts paint a vivid picture of her indulgence in the art of scent. It is said that she sailed to meet Mark Antony on a boat adorned with perfumed sails, leaving an intoxicating trail of fragrance in her wake. Her chambers were reputedly filled with exotic oils and unguents, creating an ambience of sensuality and allure. Arabian Nights and the perfumed bazaars. As we venture into the heart of the Arabian Peninsula, the tales of 1001 Nights come alive with the intoxicating aroma of perfumes. The bustling bazaars of ancient Arabia were treasure troves of exotic scents, oud, frankincense, and myrrh. Merchants from far-flung lands traded in these aromatic riches, and the allure of their fragrance is echoed through the tales of Scheherazade. The Silk Road, aromatic odyssey across cultures. Embarking on the Silk Road, we traverse vast landscapes and diverse cultures, where the exchange of spices, resins, and precious oils becomes the currency of perfumery. In China, imperial courts indulged in bespoke fragrances crafted with meticulous precision. Meanwhile, in India, the art of attar making reached its zenith, distilling the essence of flowers and spices into potent elixirs. Renaissance Europe, perfumed gloves and courtly opulence. In the courts of Renaissance Europe, perfumery became an essential aspect of aristocratic life. Scented gloves, intricately embroidered with aromatic materials, became a symbol of courtly elegance. Nobles adorned themselves not only to mask the odors of the time, but to make olfactory statements about their refinement and social standing. The exotic allure of the Ottoman Empire. The opulent courts of the Ottoman Empire were steeped in a fragrant allure. Attars, those concentrated elixirs of floral and herbal essences, took center stage, and skilled perfumers created personalized scents for the elite. Scented ceremonies adorned grand occasions, and the harem, with its own aromatic secrets, added another layer to the perfumed legacy of the Ottoman rulers. The French Revolution and eau de cologne. The turbulent times of the French Revolution brought about a shift in perfume preferences. Heavy, musky scents of the aristocracy fell out of favor, giving rise to the freshness of eau de cologne. Napoleon Bonaparte, a man of refined tastes, was said to have a penchant for cologne, and his campaigns across Europe introduced this lighter olfactory trend. Victorian England, the language of flowers. In Victorian England, perfumery became a subtle language of emotions, expressed through the symbolic meanings of flowers. The exchange of scented love letters and the intricate tussie-mussies, or small bouquets, spoke volumes without uttering a word. Perfumed handkerchiefs and scented calling cards became essential accessories in the intricate dance of social interactions. Chanel No. 5. A revolution in a bottle. The 20th century witnessed a revolutionary moment in the world of perfumery with the introduction of Chanel No. 5. Coco Chanel, in collaboration with perfumer Ernest Beau, crafted a fragrance that transcended traditional gender norms and revolutionized the perfume industry. The iconic scent became synonymous with modernity and timeless elegance, forever changing the landscape of fragrance. The Secret Garden of Guerlain. Behind the doors of Guerlain, a legendary perfume house in France, lies a secret garden where olfactory dreams are cultivated. Founded in 1828, Guerlain has been a beacon of innovation in the world of perfumery. With iconic creations like Shalimar and Jicky, the house has become a custodian of history, tradition, and the art of crafting scents that transcend generations. The unseen artistry of niche perfumery. As we navigate the contemporary landscape of perfumery, the spotlight turns to niche fragrances. These olfactory artisans, often working independently or within small houses, embrace unconventional ingredients and narratives to create scents that challenge norms. Niche perfumery is a celebration of creativity, individuality, and the unseen stories behind each bottle. Scent Memories and the Proustian Journey. Marcel Proust, in his literary masterpiece In Search of Lost Time, immortalized the power of scent in triggering memories. The famous Madeleine dipped in tea became a portal to the past, unlocking a flood of memories. Perfumery, with its ability to evoke emotions and memories, serves as a vessel for time travel, allowing us to revisit moments long gone through the simple act of inhaling a familiar fragrance. The olfactory symphony of today. In the contemporary world, perfumery continues to evolve, embracing sustainability, inclusivity, and technological advancements. From synthetic molecules to eco-conscious formulations, the narrative of fragrance is being rewritten. Brands like Jo Malone, with their customizable scents, and Maison Francis Kurkdjian, blending tradition with innovation, exemplify the diverse voices shaping the olfactory symphony of today. As we reflect on these captivating narratives and historical anecdotes, it becomes evident that perfumery is more than a mere adornment of the senses. It is a narrative thread that weaves through the human experience, connecting us to our past, defining our present, and carrying the whispers of fragrant tales into the future. Each bottle holds within it not just aromatic molecules, but a piece of history, a fragment of culture, and an essence of the human spirit. Perfume, throughout the ages, has been more than a mere adornment. It has been a potent signifier of wealth, prestige, and political authority. From the grand courts of ancient civilizations to the palaces of Renaissance Europe and the modern halls of power, fragrance has played a pivotal role in shaping perceptions, establishing social hierarchies, and projecting an image of influence and affluence. Ancient symbolism, from divinity to royalty in the ancient world, the use of fragrance went beyond personal grooming. It was intricately linked to the divine and the royal. The ancient Egyptians, renowned for their opulent practices, used perfumes in religious rituals, believing that the pleasing scents would connect them with the gods. Pharaohs, as earthly representations of divine authority, were anointed with precious oils, and their tombs were filled with aromatic offerings meant to accompany them to the afterlife. Similarly, in Mesopotamia, the burning of incense in temples signified the presence of the divine. Fragrances became an offering, a symbol of reverence, and a statement of the sacred authority bestowed upon rulers. The perfumed courts of Renaissance Europe. Fast forward to the courts of Renaissance Europe, and perfume took on a new dimension, becoming a tool for political maneuvering and a marker of aristocratic distinction. 1. Courtly indulgence. The courts of Europe were centers of opulence, and the aristocracy indulged in fragrant extravagance. Perfumed gloves, scented pomanders, and aromatic sachets adorned the nobility. The deliberate use of fragrance became a statement of refined tastes, setting the aristocracy apart from the common folk. 2. Diplomacy in a bottle. Perfume became a diplomatic currency, exchanged as lavish gifts between European courts. Monarchs utilized bespoke fragrances to forge alliances, express goodwill, and showcase the cultural sophistication of their realms. Scented diplomacy became a subtle yet powerful means of political communication. 3. Aromatic fashion statements. The nobility curated extensive fragrance wardrobes, choosing scents based on occasions and personal preferences. Perfumed chambers were dedicated to storing aromatic treasures, and aristocrats adorned themselves with fragrances that matched their social standing. Perfume became a fashion statement, an olfactory accessory that spoke volumes about one's status. The Ottoman opulence. Fragrance in the East. In the grand palaces of the Ottoman Empire, fragrance played a central role in courtly rituals, social interactions, and expressions of imperial authority. 1. Attars and elixirs. The Ottoman rulers were patrons of the olfactory arts, and skilled perfumers created bespoke attars, concentrated perfumes derived from botanicals, for the elite. These fragrant elixirs were not only personal indulgences, but symbols of the empire's wealth and sophistication. 2. Scented ceremonies. The Ottoman court embraced scented ceremonies, where fragrant substances like rosewater, musk, and ambergris were used abundantly during grand occasions. Perfumed rituals became an integral part of celebrations, emphasizing the opulence and magnificence of the Ottoman court. 3. Symbol of prestige. Fragrances in the Ottoman Empire were not just personal adornments. They were symbols of prestige and social standing. The possession of rare and exotic scents conveyed a sense of elevated status within Ottoman society, and the aromatic treasures exchanged among the elite became markers of nobility. Versailles and the scent of absolute power. In the grandeur of Versailles, perfume reached new heights as an instrument of power. Louis XIV, the Sun King, recognized the symbolic potency of fragrance in consolidating authority. 1. Royal perfumer. Louis XIV appointed his own personal perfumer, creating a position of prestige and influence. Jean-Baptiste Grenouille, immortalized in Patrick Süskind's novel Perfume, was one such perfumer who crafted scents for the royal court. The Sun King understood that the right fragrance could enhance his image and authority. 2. Hall of Mirrors and Scented Ambience. Versailles featured the Hall of Mirrors, where the scent of orange blossom wafted through the air. The intentional use of fragrance in such grand spaces was a deliberate choice to create a sensory ambience that reinforced the king's authority. Perfume became a subtle yet integral part of the political theatre at Versailles. 3. Scented fashion. Nobility at Versailles engaged in scented fashion, incorporating fragrances into wigs, clothing, and even fans. The courtiers used perfume not only as a personal adornment, but as a means of aligning themselves with the fashionable trends dictated by the monarchy. Scent became a visual and olfactory symbol of allegiance to the crown. Fragrance in the modern political arena. As we transition to the modern era, fragrance continues to play a role in the political landscape, albeit in a different guise. In the corridors of power and the diplomatic arenas, leaders utilize perfumes to project an image of authority and statesmanship. 1. Political branding. Political figures often employ signature scents as part of their personal branding. The choice of fragrance becomes a carefully curated aspect of their public persona, contributing to the creation of a distinct identity. A well-selected perfume can convey attributes such as strength, charisma, or approachability. 2. Diplomatic gifting. Perfumes, with their universal appeal, have retained their status as diplomatic gifts. Leaders exchange fragrances as a gesture of goodwill, forging connections and fostering positive relations. The careful selection of a perfume for a diplomatic gift is a nuanced art, acknowledging cultural sensitivities and preferences. 3. Cultural symbolism. In some instances, political leaders leverage the cultural symbolism of fragrances to make statements. The choice of a specific national fragrance or an iconic scent associated with historical events can carry political significance, evoking a sense of patriotism and cultural pride. Luxury perfumes, signifiers of affluence. In the consumer-driven world, luxury perfumes have become synonymous with affluence and social status. High-end fragrance houses craft exquisite blends using rare ingredients, and the price tag attached to these bottles becomes a status symbol. 1. Exclusive ingredients. Luxury perfumes often feature exclusive and rare ingredients, such as oud, saffron, or vintage floral extracts. The scarcity of these elements enhances the allure of the fragrance, positioning it as a symbol of exclusivity and privilege. 2. Bespoke fragrances. Wealthy individuals often indulge in bespoke fragrances, created by master perfumers to suit their unique tastes and preferences. These custom-made scents become private olfactory signatures, known only to a select few, adding an extra layer of exclusivity. 3. Collector's items. Limited edition and collector's edition perfumes, housed in exquisite bottles and adorned with intricate packaging, appeal to connoisseurs of luxury. The possession of such rare fragrances becomes a statement of discernment and an expression of one's ability to access the finest things in life. Conclusion. The olfactory language of authority. From the ancient rituals of divine anointment to the contemporary world of political diplomacy and luxury indulgence, perfume has been a silent yet powerful language of authority. Its molecules carry the echoes of history, mingling with the sense of power, wealth, and influence. Whether in the corridors of Versailles, the both intriguing intersection of fragrance and diplomacy unveils a subtle yet potent dimension where olfactory elements become tools for communication, cultural exchange, and the forging of international relations. From the ancient rituals of gift-giving to the modern practice of state-sponsored scents, The world of diplomacy has been entwined with the aromatic language of perfumery, creating connections that transcend borders and cultures. Ancient roots. Aromatic diplomacy in antiquity. Roots of aromatic diplomacy can be traced back to ancient civilisations, where fragrances held profound symbolic and ritualistic significance. In Mesopotamia, Egypt, and the Far East, rulers exchanged precious incense and aromatic substances as offerings to signify goodwill, alliance, and divine favor. 1. Divine gifts. In ancient Mesopotamia, kings presented temples with offerings of incense, myrrh, and other aromatic substances to seek the favor of deities. These scented gifts were not only expressions of devotion, but also diplomatic gestures meant to secure divine protection and blessings for the kingdom. 2. The Silk Road Fragrance Exchange. The Silk Road, a network of trade routes connecting the East and the West, facilitated the exchange of not only goods, but also fragrances. Spices, resins, and exotic scents traversed continents, becoming symbols of diplomatic relations and cultural exchange between empires. 3. Gifts for monarchs. In ancient China, the imperial courts exchanged fragrant gifts with neighboring kingdoms as a diplomatic practice. Precious substances like agarwood, musk, and sandalwood were offered to signify goodwill, and the acceptance of such gifts implied the establishment or continuation of diplomatic ties. Medieval courts, a fragrance as a diplomatic tool. As the world transitioned into the medieval period, fragrances continued to play a strategic role in diplomatic relations, particularly in the courts of Europe and the Middle East. 1. Courtly fragrant alliances. The courts of medieval Europe witnessed the exchange of perfumed gloves, scented handkerchiefs, and intricately crafted pomanders as symbols of diplomatic alliances. These fragrant tokens served dual purposes, masking the odors of the time and fostering goodwill between nobility. 2. Aromas of the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Empire, with its opulent courts, engaged in aromatic diplomacy. Attars, concentrated perfumes, were exchanged as gifts among dignitaries and rulers, creating olfactory bridges that transcended political boundaries and fostered a sense of camaraderie. The Renaissance. Perfumed ambassadors and symbolic scents. The Renaissance era marked a resurgence of interest in the arts, sciences, and diplomacy. Perfumes, with their allure, became integral to diplomatic practices and cultural exchanges. 2. Symbolic meanings. Specific scents were chosen for their symbolic meanings in diplomatic exchanges. For instance, rose water, with its association with love and purity, was often included in diplomatic gifts to convey sentiments of friendship and trust. In imperial China, fragrance was woven into the fabric of diplomatic engagements, serving as a cultural bridge and a means of expressing the majesty of the empire. 1. Imperial fragrance wardrobes. The imperial courts of China cultivated their own fragrance wardrobes, featuring an array of scents chosen for specific occasions. Perfumed accessories, from robes to fans, were used not only for personal adornment, but also as diplomatic tools to convey the grandeur of the emperor. 2. Scented gifts for diplomats. Chinese emperors often bestowed scented gifts upon foreign diplomats, showcasing the empire's appreciation for fragrant arts. These gifts were not only tokens of diplomatic goodwill, but also invitations to understand and appreciate the cultural nuances of the Chinese court. Modern diplomacy is scented statecraft in the 20th century. In the 20th century, the world of diplomacy witnessed a resurgence of interest in fragrance as a tool for statecraft and international relations. 1. Presidential fragrances. Political leaders, including presidents, have employed fragrances to enhance their public image and engage in diplomatic initiatives. Presidents often choose signature scents that become synonymous with their leadership style and are carefully curated to evoke specific emotions. 2. Diplomatic gift exchanges. Diplomats and world leaders continue the tradition of exchanging fragrant gifts as a symbolic gesture of mutual respect and cooperation. These gifts often reflect the cultural heritage of the giver and serve as reminders of shared values. 3. Cultural diplomacy through fragrance. Fragrance has become a medium for cultural diplomacy, with nations using their unique scents to showcase their heritage and foster understanding. Cultural exchange programs may include exhibitions on traditional perfumery, highlighting the historical and artistic aspects of a country's olfactory traditions. State-sponsored scents are nationhood in a bottline. Recent years, some countries have taken the concept of diplomatic fragrance to a new level by creating state-sponsored perfumes that encapsulate the essence of their national identity. 1. Unique olfactory identity. Countries like Japan, Oman, and France have launched official perfumes that aim to capture the olfactory spirit of the nation. These scents are carefully crafted to evoke specific landscapes, cultural motifs, and historical narratives, serving as olfactory ambassadors for the country. 2. Tourism and soft power. State-sponsored perfumes contribute to the soft power of a nation, influencing perceptions and promoting tourism. These fragrances become extensions of a country's brand, inviting people to explore its rich cultural tapestry through the sense of smell. Conclusion. Fragrance as a universal language in diplomacy. Connections between fragrance and diplomacy weave a captivating narrative of scented diplomacy, where the language of smells becomes a universal and nuanced means of communication. From ancient rituals to modern state-sponsored scents, fragrances have transcended political boundaries, fostering connections and symbolizing shared histories. In a world often divided by language and cultural differences, the olfactory language of diplomacy offers a unique and aromatic bridge to understanding and cooperation. Perfumes, with their ethereal allure and intricate compositions, have long served as more than just personal adornments. They have been powerful emissaries of goodwill, symbols of peace, and expressions of cultural exchange. From ancient civilisations to modern diplomatic practices, the act of gifting perfumes transcends mere fragrance, becoming a language that speaks across borders, fostering connections and symbolizing shared values. Ancient rituals. Perfumes as offerings to the divinity. Roots of perfumed gifting can be traced back to ancient civilizations where aromatic substances were considered precious offerings to appease the divine and forge connections with higher realms. 1. Divine anointment in Egypt. In ancient Egypt, Perfumed oils and resins were used in religious ceremonies to anoint statues of gods and pharaohs. These fragrant offerings were believed to invoke divine favor and signify a harmonious relationship between the earthly and the divine. 2. Scented prayers in Mesopotamia. Mesopotamian cultures utilized incense and aromatic substances as offerings in temples, emphasizing the sacredness of fragrance. The act of presenting perfumed gifts became a ritualistic expression of devotion and a means of seeking divine blessings. Medieval courts. Perfumed tokens of affection and diplomacy. As societies evolved, perfumed gifts gained prominence in the courts of medieval Europe and beyond, where they became symbols of affection, diplomacy, and refined taste. 1. Courtly love tokens. In medieval courts, perfumed gloves and scented handkerchiefs emerged as tokens of courtly love and expressions of affection. Nobles exchanged these fragrant gifts, adorned with intricate embroidery and infused with precious essences, as gestures of admiration and friendship. 2. Diplomatic fragrant alliances. Perfumes became integral to diplomatic practices, serving as tools for forging alliances and fostering goodwill between nations. Rulers exchanged bespoke fragrances, carefully curated by skilled perfumers, as symbols of trust and cooperation. These aromatic gifts transcended political differences, offering a shared appreciation for the art of perfumery. Ottoman opulence. Fragrant diplomacy in the East. In the opulent courts of the Ottoman Empire, fragrant offerings and perfumed gifts played a central role in diplomatic relations and cultural exchanges. 1. Attars as diplomatic gifts. Attars, concentrated perfumes derived from botanicals, were highly prized in Ottoman perfumery. These exquisite elixirs were exchanged as diplomatic gifts, representing not only the olfactory prowess of the empire, but also the spirit of hospitality and cooperation. 2. Scented ceremonies. The Ottoman courts engaged in scented ceremonies, where fragrant substances like rosewater, musk, and ambergris were used abundantly during grand occasions. Perfumed rituals became a celebration of cultural richness and a means of extending hospitality to foreign dignitaries. Renaissance Europe. Fragrance, a symbolic diplomacy. Renaissance era witnessed the revival of art, culture, and diplomacy, with fragrances becoming symbolic instruments of communication and cultural exchange. 1. Scented diplomacy at Versailles. In the grandeur of Versailles, fragrance played a pivotal role in diplomatic engagements. Ambassadors were often entrusted with the task of presenting perfumed gifts to foreign courts, with the choice of fragrance conveying not only the sender's taste, but also the cultural sophistication of their homeland. 2. Symbolic scents in courtly practices. Perfumes took on symbolic meanings in courtly practices, with specific scents representing virtues, emotions, and cultural motifs. The act of gifting a carefully selected fragrance became an art form, transcending language barriers and fostering connections based on shared aesthetic values. Imperial China. Fragrance as a cultural offering. In Imperial China, perfumed gifts held profound significance as cultural offerings and expressions of hospitality. 1. Imperial fragrance wardrobes. The imperial courts of China cultivated extensive fragrance wardrobes, featuring an array of scents chosen for specific occasions. Perfumed accessories, such as robes and fans, were not only personal adornments, but also diplomatic tools used to convey the grandeur of the emperor and the cultural richness of the nation. 2. Scented gifts for diplomats. Chinese emperors often presented scented gifts to foreign diplomats, showcasing the empire's appreciation for the art of perfumery and extending a gesture of friendship. These gifts served as aromatic ambassadors, inviting others to explore and appreciate the olfactory traditions of China. Modern diplomacy, fragrances as bridges between nations in the contemporary world. Perfumes continue to play a role in diplomatic practices, serving as bridges between nations, fostering cultural understanding, and symbolizing shared values. 1. Diplomatic fragrance exchanges. Diplomatic exchanges often include the gifting of fragrances as a gesture of goodwill. Countries may offer perfumes that represent the essence of their culture, incorporating unique ingredients and scents that showcase their olfactory heritage. 2. Cultural diplomacy through perfumery. Fragrances have become vehicles for cultural diplomacy, with nations utilizing their unique scents to showcase their artistic traditions and cultural richness. Perfume exhibitions, showcasing the heritage of a country's perfumery, serve as platforms for dialogue and exchange. State-sponsored scents. Cultural identity. In a bottline recent years, some countries have embraced the concept of state-sponsored perfumes, creating olfactory embodiments of their cultural identity. 1. National fragrances. Countries like Japan, Oman, and France have launched official perfumes that encapsulate the olfactory spirit of the nation. These state-sponsored scents serve as ambassadors, conveying the cultural richness, history, and values of the country to the world. 2. Symbolism and soft power. State-sponsored perfumes contribute to a nation's soft power by influencing perceptions and promoting tourism. These fragrances become not just symbols of cultural identity, but also tools for fostering international understanding and appreciation. Conclusion. Fragrance as a universal language of connection. The history of perfumes as gifts, peace offerings, and symbols of cultural exchange spans epochs and continents, illustrating the universal appeal of scent as a language that transcends words. Whether in the courts of medieval Europe, the opulent palaces of the Ottoman Empire, or the contemporary diplomatic arena, perfumes have consistently played a role in fostering connections, promoting goodwill, and symbolizing the shared olfactory tapestry of humanity. In a world often divided by differences, the language of fragrance serves as a universal and unspoken bridge, inviting us to explore, appreciate, and celebrate the aromatic diversity that connects us all. Chapter 3. Scented Revolution. Chapter 3. Scented Revolutions. The landscape of fragrance has undergone transformative revolutions, marked by the emergence of groundbreaking synthetic materials and avant-garde movements that challenge traditional olfactory conventions. From the laboratory-born molecules that redefined perfumery to the rebellious spirit of scent artists pushing boundaries, these scented revolutions have reshaped the olfactory narrative, offering new possibilities and perspectives in the world of fragrance. The Synthetic Revolution, a symphony of molecules. The late 19th and early 20th centuries witnessed a revolution in perfumery with the advent of synthetic materials. Prior to this era, fragrances were primarily derived from natural sources, limiting the palette of perfumers. The Synthetic Revolution, however, ushered in a symphony of molecules that expanded the creative horizons of perfumery. 1. Coumarin and vanillin. In 1868, coumarin was the first synthetic molecule created, offering a hay-like scent that was previously only found in tonka beans. Soon after, vanillin, the compound responsible for the vanilla aroma, was synthesized, providing a cost-effective alternative to natural vanilla. 2. Aldehydes and Chanel No. 5. The use of aldehydes marked a revolutionary moment in fragrance history. Perfumer Ernest Beau incorporated aldehydes into Chanel No. 5, creating a modern, abstract floral scent that defied the conventions of its time. Launched in 1921, Chanel No. 5 became an iconic fragrance that epitomized the elegance of the synthetic era. 3. Musk and ambroxan. The scarcity and ethical concerns surrounding natural musk led to the development of synthetic musk molecules. Ambroxan, a synthetic substitute with an ambery and musky profile, became a staple in modern perfumery, offering sustainability without compromising olfactory impact. Avant-garde movements, challenging olfactory norms. The latter half of the 20th century and beyond witnessed the rise of avant-garde movements that challenged conventional notions of fragrance. Perfumers and scent artists began to explore new olfactory territories, pushing boundaries and dismantling preconceived notions of what a fragrance could be. 1. The anti-perfume movement. In the 1960s and 1970s, the anti-perfume movement emerged as a response to the mainstream, commercialized nature of perfumery. Artists like Lavinia Borromeo and groups like the Smellies rejected traditional fragrance aesthetics, creating scents that embraced unconventional, even challenging, notes. 2. Minimalism and isoe super. The 1990s witnessed a shift towards minimalism in perfumery, exemplified by the creation of isoe super, a synthetic molecule with a woody, amber-like profile. This molecule, often used in high concentrations, became a key component in fragrances like Molecule 01, highlighting the beauty of simplicity and individual skin chemistry. 3. Nicolas Guesquière and experimental fragrances. Fashion designers also stepped into the olfactory realm, challenging traditional fragrance structures. Louis Vuitton's creative director, Nicolas Guesquière, collaborated with renowned perfumer Jacques Cavalier-Bellettrade to create experimental fragrances like Les Parfums Louis Vuitton, blending unexpected notes and pushing the boundaries of luxury scent. Niche perfumery. Artisanal and unconventional. 21st century witnessed the flourishing of niche perfumery, a movement that celebrated individuality, craftsmanship, and unconventional olfactory narratives. Independent perfumers and niche houses emerged, offering unique and often daring compositions that catered to a more discerning audience. 1. Serge Lutens, a trailblazer in niche perfumery. Serge Lutens, a makeup artist turned perfumer, played a pivotal role in shaping niche perfumery. His eponymous brand, launched in the early 2000s, introduced fragrances like Feminite Dubois, which defied mainstream trends with its woody and spicy composition. 2. Le Labo and the art of customization. Le Labo, founded in 2006, embraced a unique approach to perfumery by blending fragrances on site and providing customers with personalized, freshly crafted scents. The brand challenged the mass production model, emphasizing craftsmanship, authenticity, and individuality. 3. Eccentric molecules and molecule-based fragrances. Eccentric molecules, launched by Perfumery, focused on single synthetic molecules as the centerpiece of their fragrances. The brand's Molecule series, particularly Molecule 01, celebrated the beauty of a singular note, challenging traditional concepts of complexity in perfumery. Genderless and inclusive fragrances, breaking stereotypes. Another transformative shift in the fragrance landscape involved challenging traditional gender norms and fostering inclusivity. Perfumers and brands embraced the idea that scents should be a personal expression rather than confined by societal expectations. 1. CK1, the pioneering unisex fragrance. In 1994, Calvin Klein disrupted the market with CK1, a groundbreaking unisex fragrance that rejected traditional gender classifications. The fresh, citrusy scent became an icon of the 90s, symbolizing a shift towards gender inclusivity in perfumery. 2. Biardo and non-binary scents. Biardo, founded by Ben Gorham, is known for its genderless approach to fragrance. Scents like Gypsy Water and Bal d'Afrique challenge traditional gender norms, inviting individuals to choose fragrances based on personal preference rather than societal expectations. 3. Fleur and transparency in fragrance. Fleur, a contemporary fragrance brand, emphasizes transparency in its compositions, allowing consumers to explore the ingredients without preconceived notions about gender. The brand's commitment to sustainability and inclusivity aligns with the evolving values of modern consumers. Sustainability in perfumery. A fragrant revolution. As environmental consciousness grew, the fragrance industry underwent a sustainable revolution. Perfumers began to prioritize eco-friendly practices, ethical sourcing, and the use of natural, renewable ingredients. 1. Erin Lauder and clean beauty. Erin Lauder, granddaughter of Estée Lauder, embraced the clean beauty movement with her fragrance line Erin. The brand emphasizes simplicity, using responsibly sourced ingredients, and promoting sustainability in packaging. 2. Sonne Jardin and ethical sourcing. Sonne Jardin, a fragrance house founded by Amy Christensen Ahmed, is committed to ethical and sustainable practices. The brand empowers female flower harvesters in Morocco, promoting fair wages and environmentally conscious sourcing of raw materials. 3. The rise of natural perfumery. A growing number of perfumers are turning to natural ingredients, avoiding synthetic molecules altogether. Natural perfumery celebrates the complexity and richness of botanical essences, aligning with the preferences of consumers seeking authenticity and a connection to nature. Conclusion: a fragrant tapestry of innovation-scented revolutions that have shaped the fragrance landscape, from the synthetic revolution to avant-garde movements, niche perfumery, gender inclusivity, and sustainability have created a fragrant tapestry of innovation. Perfumers and scent artists continue to challenge norms, redefine artistic boundaries, and respond to the evolving preferences of a diverse and discerning audience. As the olfactory narrative continues to unfold, the world of fragrance remains a dynamic and ever-rich tapestry of perfumery. History is woven with pivotal moments that have shaped the sensory landscape. Introducing visionary perfumers, embracing artistic movements, and harnessing technological advancements. From ancient civilizations to the modern era, these key milestones have not only transformed the way we experience fragrance, but have also elevated perfumery to an art form that engages the senses, emotions, and cultural expressions. Ancient beginnings of fragrance as ritual and symbol. Roots of perfumery trace back to ancient civilizations, where fragrance was entwined with ritualistic practices, spiritual beliefs, and cultural symbolism. 1. Ancient Egypt, the birthplace of perfumery. Perfumery finds its earliest traces in ancient Egypt, a civilization that elevated fragrance to a sacred art. The Egyptians mastered the extraction of essential oils from plants and utilized them in religious ceremonies, mummification rituals, and daily life. The aromatic legacy of ancient Egypt laid the foundation for perfumery's artistic and symbolic dimensions. 2. Mesopotamian incense, a connecting earth and divine. In Mesopotamia, incense played a pivotal role in religious rituals, acting as a bridge between the earthly realm and the divine. Fragrance became a conduit for communication with the gods, and the burning of incense became a powerful symbol of spiritual connection and reverence. Renaissance and the birth of modern perfumery. The Renaissance era marked a revival of arts, sciences, and exploration, ushering in the transition from medieval herbal concoctions to the structured artistry of modern perfumery. 1. Grasse and the birth of fine fragrance. Grasse, in the south of France, emerged as a key player in perfumery during the 17th century. The region's favorable climate allowed for the cultivation of flowers essential to fine fragrance, such as jasmine, rose, and lavender. Grasse became a hub of perfume production, and its influence continues to resonate in the world of luxury perfumery. 2. Eau de Cologne, a revolutionary formula. In the 18th century, Italian perfumer Giovanni Maria Farina created Eau de Cologne, a formula that marked a departure from the heavy, resinous scents of the time. The light and refreshing citrus notes of Eau de Cologne became a sensation, influencing the creation of modern colognes and inspiring future generations of perfumers. The Visionaries, master perfumers redefining the craft. Certain pivotal moments in perfumery are intrinsically tied to the visionaries who transcended the craft, elevating it to an art form. These master perfumers have left an indelible mark on the industry. 1. Ernest Beau and Chanel No. 5. In the early 20th century, Russian-French perfumer Ernest Beau collaborated with Coco Chanel to create Chanel No. 5. Launched in 1921, It revolutionized perfumery by incorporating synthetic aldehydes, marking the first time a synthetic component played a significant role in a fragrance. Chanel No. 5 became an icon, synonymous with elegance and sophistication. 2. Edmund Rudnitzer, the artistic perfumer. Edmund Rudnitzer, a mid-20th century perfumer, crafted timeless fragrances such as Diorissimo and Eau Sauvage. His approach was deeply artistic, emphasizing balance, harmony, and the use of high-quality materials. Rudnitzer's creations exemplify the marriage of art and science in perfumery. 3. Jacques Guerlain and Shalimar. Jacques Guerlain, part of the renowned Guerlain family, created Shalimar in 1925. This oriental fragrance, with its sensual blend of vanilla, iris, and amber, became a masterpiece, showcasing the artistry of perfumery. Jacques Guerlain's legacy continues to influence contemporary perfumers. Technological advancements. The impact of synthetics. The 19th and 20th centuries witnessed significant technological advancements that revolutionized perfumery, introducing synthetic materials and expanding the perfumer's palette. 1. Synthetic musk and ambroxan. The scarcity of natural musk led to the creation of synthetic musk molecules in the late 19th century. Ambroxan, a synthetic substitute with an ambre profile, became a key component in modern fragrances, offering sustainability and ethical considerations without compromising olfactory impact. 2. Aldehydes and modernity. The discovery and utilization of aldehydes in the early 20th century, particularly in Chanel No. 5, marked a transformative moment. Aldehydes, synthetic molecules with a sparkling quality, added a new dimension to fragrances, contributing to the creation of abstract and modern compositions. Artistic movements. A fragrance as an expression of culture. Nexus between art and fragrance has been a recurring theme throughout history, with artistic movements influencing olfactory creations. 1. The avant-garde movement. In the mid-20th century, the avant-garde movement extended its influence to perfumery. Artists like Salvador Dali collaborated with perfumers to create surreal and unconventional fragrances, challenging traditional norms and exploring the boundaries of olfactory expression. 2. Postmodernism and niche perfumery. The late 20th century saw the emergence of niche perfumery, paralleling the postmodernist movement in art. Independent perfumers began creating unique, often daring, compositions that deviated from mainstream trends. Niche fragrances celebrated individuality, craftsmanship, and unconventional narratives. Globalization and diverse influences. As the world became more interconnected, globalization brought diverse cultural influences to perfumery, expanding the spectrum of available ingredients and inspirations. 1. Asian influences. The influence of Asian cultures on perfumery has grown significantly. Traditional ingredients like oud from the Middle East and agarwood from Southeast Asia have become coveted in the global fragrance market, adding complexity and richness to compositions. 2. African ingredients and stories. African-inspired fragrances have gained prominence, featuring notes like vetiver from Haiti and rooibos from South Africa. Perfumers draw inspiration from the diverse landscapes and cultures of the continent, creating scents that tell stories of resilience, nature, and heritage. Technological innovation in scent exploration. The 21st century has seen an influx of technological innovations that have enhanced the exploration of scents, from ingredient discovery to personalized fragrance experiences. 1. Headspace technology. Headspace technology allows perfumers to capture the scent of living plants without extracting or damaging them. This non-invasive method revolutionized the study of natural ingredients, preserving the integrity of fragrant botanicals. 2. AI and personalized fragrances. Artificial intelligence has entered the realm of perfumery, enabling the creation of personalized fragrances based on individual preferences and characteristics. AI algorithms analyze vast data sets to predict scent preferences, offering consumers bespoke olfactory experiences. Sustainability in perfumery. A paradigm shift with growing environmental awareness. Sustainability has become a pivotal focus in perfumery, driving changes in ingredient sourcing, production practices, and packaging. 1. Ethical sourcing. Perfumers and brands increasingly prioritize ethical sourcing of raw materials, ensuring fair wages, environmental conservation, and biodiversity preservation. This shift reflects a commitment to responsible and sustainable practices. Chapter 4. Global Aromas. The world of perfume is a vibrant tapestry woven with threads of multicultural influences and botanical riches, reflecting the diverse landscapes, traditions, and histories of civilizations across the globe. From the fragrant spice routes of the East to the floral fields of grass, the multicultural tapestry of perfumery is an olfactory journey that encompasses a kaleidoscope of scents, each telling a unique story of its origin and cultural significance. The spice routes, aromatic treasures of the East. The historic spice routes, connecting the East to the West, were conduits of not only culinary delights, but also aromatic treasures that would shape the world of perfume. Exotic spices, resins, and balsams from regions such as India, the Middle East, and Southeast Asia found their way into the fragrant palettes of perfumers, leaving an indelible mark on the olfactory landscape. 1. Indian influence. The essence of Ayurveda, India, with its rich cultural heritage and ancient Ayurvedic traditions, has contributed a myriad of aromatic treasures to perfumery. Sandalwood, a cornerstone of Indian perfumery, offers a creamy and woody note, while spices like cardamom, saffron, and cumin add warmth and complexity to fragrances. 2. Middle Eastern oud. Oud, also known as agar wood, is a precious resinous wood that holds deep cultural and religious significance in the Middle East. This complex and alluring note, derived from the heartwood of agarwood trees, has become a signature in Oriental and woody fragrances, embodying the luxurious and mystical allure of the region. 3. Spices of Southeast Asia. The vibrant spices of Southeast Asia, such as ginger, lemongrass, and cloves, bring a zesty and aromatic quality to perfumes. These ingredients, often associated with traditional cuisines, have found their way into fragrances, infusing them with the lively and exotic spirit of the region. Floral abundance. Grass and beyond grass. nestled in the hills of Provence, France, is often hailed as the perfume capital of the world. This region, with its ideal climate and fertile soil, became a hub for cultivating aromatic flowers, particularly roses, jasmine, and lavender. 1. Provençal lavender. Lavender, with its fresh and herbaceous aroma, is a quintessential element of Provençal perfumery. This hardy and resilient herb, cultivated in the sun-soaked fields of Provence, imparts a soothing and aromatic character to countless fragrances. 2. Roses of grass. Grass rose, known as the centifolia or May rose, is prized for its delicate and sweet fragrance. The petals of this rose variety, hand-harvested during the blooming season in May, or an essential ingredient in many classic and modern perfumes, adding a romantic and timeless quality. 3. Jasmine grandiflorum. Grass is also renowned for producing Jasmine grandiflorum, a species of jasmine known for its sweet and intoxicating aroma. Jasmine, often referred to as the queen of flowers, adds a sensuous and heady note to perfumes, symbolizing luxury and elegance. Feist mystique. Japanese cherry blossom and beyond the feist, with its serene landscapes and reverence for nature, has contributed unique botanical elements that evoke a sense of tranquility and mystique. 1. Japanese cherry blossom. Cherry blossom, or sakura, holds deep cultural significance in Japan, symbolizing the ephemeral beauty of life. The delicate and fleeting fragrance of cherry blossom has inspired perfumers to create ethereal and light-hearted scents, capturing the essence of springtime in Japan. 2. Chinese Osmanthus. Osmanthus, a fragrant flower native to East Asia, particularly China, releases a sweet and apricot-like scent. Osmanthus absolute, derived from the blossoms, is utilized in perfumery to infuse fragrances with a fruity and floral nuance, echoing the traditional Chinese association of Osmanthus with auspiciousness and celebration. African riches. Resins, woods, and florals. Africa, with its diverse ecosystems and botanical treasures, has contributed an array of resins, woods, and florals that play a pivotal role in the world of perfume. 1. African frankincense and myrrh. The resinous treasures of frankincense and myrrh, long associated with religious rituals and medicinal practices, are sourced from the Boswellia and Commiphora trees in Africa. These timeless aromatics, with their rich and spiritual character, infuse perfumes with a sense of ceremonial solemnity and depth. 2. Madagascan vanilla. Madagascar, with its lush vanilla orchards, is a key source of natural vanilla. Vanilla, with its warm and sweet aroma, has become a cornerstone in gourmand perfumery, adding a comforting and indulgent quality to fragrances. 3. African violet. African violet, with its subtly sweet and powdery scent, is a fragrant floral note that has gained recognition in perfumery. The delicate and charming aroma of African violet contributes to floral compositions, offering a touch of nostalgia and femininity. Indigenous wisdom. Native plants and traditional knowledge. Indigenous communities around the world have preserved unique botanical knowledge, incorporating local flora into their traditions. These native plants, often used for rituals, ceremonies, or medicinal purposes, have found their way into perfumery. 1. Sage and cedar of Native America. Native American traditions are rich with aromatic plants like sage and cedar. Sage, with its herbal and purifying scent, is often used in smudging ceremonies. Cedar, known for its woody and grounding aroma, adds a sense of spirituality and connection to the earth. 2. Australian eucalyptus. Eucalyptus, native to Australia, is known for its fresh and invigorating fragrance. Eucalyptus oil, extracted from the leaves, brings a revitalizing and cleansing note to perfumes, reminiscent of the vast and aromatic eucalyptus forests of Australia. Modern fusion, global blends and cross-cultural influences. In the modern era, perfumery has evolved into a global art form, embracing cross-cultural influences and creating fragrances that reflect the interconnectedness of our world. 1. Fusion of East and West. Contemporary perfumers often draw inspiration from the fusion of Eastern and Western cultures, blending traditional ingredients with modern accords. This cross-cultural exchange results in fragrances that carry a sense of global identity, resonating with diverse audiences. 2. Global niche perfumery. The rise of niche perfumery has further amplified the exploration of multicultural influences. Independent perfumers, unbound by mainstream trends, draw inspiration from diverse sources, creating avant-garde and culturally rich fragrances that cater to a discerning and global clientele. Conclusion: a fragrant symphony of diversitized multicultural influences and botanical riches that have shaped the world of perfume form a fragrant symphony of diversity, where each note contributes to the olfactory narrative of a region, culture, or tradition. From the spice-laden winds of the east to the blooming fields of grass, and from the mystical allure of African resins to the serene gardens of the Far East, Perfumery. In delving into the annals of perfumery history, one embarks on a sensory journey that transcends time and borders, revealing a rich tapestry woven with cross-cultural exchanges, botanical discoveries, and olfactory inspirations. This chapter serves as an olfactory time machine, guiding readers through the aromatic threads that bind humanity across epochs and continents. As we explore the universal language of scent, we uncover the profound connections that perfume has fostered, becoming a vessel for cultural expression, a conduit for trade, and a testament to the shared olfactory heritage of humankind. Ancient crossroads, aromatic trade routes, and cultural confluences. In the ancient world, fragrance was a commodity that traversed vast trade routes, serving as a catalyst for cross-cultural exchanges and a testament to the interconnectedness of civilizations. The spice routes, in particular, became conduits of aromatic treasures, linking the East to the West in a fragrant dance of commerce and cultural fusion. The Silk Road, stretching from China to the Mediterranean, was a crucible of cross-cultural olfactory encounters. Exotic spices like cinnamon, cardamom, and frankincense from the East found their way to the courts of Europe, transforming the olfactory landscape and sparking a fascination for the unknown. In the bustling markets of ancient Mesopotamia, traders exchanged not only goods, but also the aromatic secrets of their respective regions. The fragrant resinous offerings of the Middle East mingled with the spices of the Far East, creating perfume symphonies that echoed through the bazaars and palaces. Renaissance revival. The fragrant renaissance of Grasse Renaissance era witnessed a revival of arts, sciences, and exploration, and in the heart of Provence, Grasse emerged as a fragrant epicenter. The region's fertile soil and ideal climate gave rise to fields of fragrant flowers, particularly roses, jasmine, and lavender, setting the stage for a fragrant renaissance that would echo through the centuries. Grasse, with its blooming fields, became a melting pot of botanical diversity. The aromatic notes of Provençal lavender blended with the delicate fragrance of grass roses, creating perfumes that embodied the spirit of the region. This fragrant revival not only transformed Grasse into the perfume capital of the world, but also marked an era where botanical discoveries fueled the art of perfumery. Oriental allure, mystical sense of the East, with its mystical allure and ancient olfactory traditions, has played a pivotal role in shaping the global story of perfumery. From the sacred incense of Indian temples to the fragrant gardens of ancient China, the East's aromatic contributions have been both profound and enduring. India, with its rich tapestry of aromatic ingredients, bestowed upon the world a myriad of scents. Sandalwood, patchouli, and vetiver became aromatic ambassadors, transcending borders and enriching perfumery with their distinctive olfactory profiles. Ayurvedic traditions, deeply rooted in the use of botanicals, influenced not only Eastern perfumery, but also left an indelible mark on the global aromatic palette. China, with its ancient perfumed gardens, brought forth floral treasures like osmanthus and jasmine. The olfactory symphonies composed in imperial courts echoed the cultural sophistication of ancient China, captivating the senses and inspiring perfumers across continents. Middle Eastern elegance stewed and the essence of luxury. Middle East, with its opulent history and reverence for fragrance, introduced the world to oud, the liquid gold of perfumery. Oud, derived from the resinous heartwood of agarwood trees, carries with it the mystique and luxury of the region. Oud became the olfactory signet of the Middle East, gracing the halls of palaces and adorning the nobility. Its deep, woody, and complex aroma symbolized prestige and became synonymous with the regality of Arabian perfumery. Oud's allure transcended borders, captivating the senses of those seeking the essence of luxury. African rhythms, resins, woods, and floral flourishes. Africa, with its diverse landscapes and botanical riches, contributed resins, woods, and florals that added unique rhythms to the global perfume symphony. Frankincense and myrrh, long associated with ceremonial practices, became fragrant emissaries from the African continent to the rest of the world. Madagascar, with its lush vanilla orchids, gifted the world with a sweet and indulgent note. Vanilla, a staple in gourmand perfumery, became a global sensation, infusing fragrances with a touch of exotic sweetness and warmth. The vibrant hues of African violets and the grounding notes of vetiver added to the aromatic chorus, creating fragrances that echoed the diverse landscapes and cultures of the continent. Africa's botanical riches, entwined with traditions and rituals, became threads in the global olfactory narrative. Feist whispers, serenity incense. The Feist, with its serene landscapes and poetic traditions, brought a sense of tranquility and elegance to the world of perfumery. Japanese cherry blossoms, with their fleeting and delicate aroma, became a symbol of ephemeral beauty, inspiring perfumers to capture the essence of springtime in a bottle. Chinese osmanthus, with its apricot-like fragrance, added a fruity and floral flourish to perfumes. The Far East's contribution to the global olfactory tapestry lies not only in the individual botanical ingredients, but also in the art of subtlety and balance, a lesson in serenity and simplicity. Modern fusion, a global olfactory melting pot as the world became more interconnected. Perfumery embraced a modern era of cross-cultural fusion. The global exchange of ideas, ingredients, and inspirations fueled an era of perfumery that transcended geographical boundaries. Contemporary perfumers, unencumbered by cultural silos, began to draw inspiration from a mosaic of tradition. Chapter 5. Fragrance in the modern guide evolution of perfumery, from the industrial innovations of the 19th century to contemporary trends and challenges, reflects a dynamic journey marked by technological leaps, artistic revolutions, and shifting consumer preferences. This olfactory odyssey encapsulates the resilience and adaptability of an industry that has embraced change while preserving the artistry and cultural significance of fragrance. The Industrial Revolution, synthesis and standardization. 19th century marked a pivotal moment in perfumery as industrialization revolutionized the production process. Prior to this era, perfumes were crafted primarily from natural ingredients, limiting the scope of fragrances. However, with the advent of industrial innovations, synthetic compounds and standardized manufacturing processes emerged. 1. Synthetic molecules. The synthesis of molecules like coumarin, vanillin, and aldehydes expanded the perfumer's palette, offering a broader range of scents. Ernest Beau's use of aldehydes in Chanel No. 5 exemplified the impact of synthetic compounds, ushering in a new era of abstract and modern fragrances. 2. Eau de Cologne and mass production. The creation of Eau de Cologne, a light and refreshing fragrance, by Giovanni Farina exemplified the industrial shift towards mass production. The accessibility and affordability of fragrances increased, reaching a broader audience and transforming perfume from a luxury reserved for the elite to a daily indulgence for many. Artistic movements, niche perfumery, and beyond. The latter half of the 20th century witnessed a divergence from mass-produced, commercial fragrances. Artistic movements and a desire for individuality gave rise to niche perfumery, a realm where perfumers could explore unconventional compositions and unique olfactory narratives. 1. Avant-garde explorations. Artists like Salvador Dali ventured into the world of perfumery, creating avant-garde scents that challenged conventional norms. These perfumes were not merely fragrances, but olfactory expressions of surrealism and artistic rebellion. 2. Niche perfumery renaissance. Niche perfumery, characterized by limited production runs and unconventional formulations, experienced a renaissance. Independent perfumers, unbound by mass-market trends, created compositions that catered to a discerning audience appreciative of craftsmanship and individuality. Technology and innovation. from headspace to 8th 21st century has seen the fragrance industry leverage cutting-edge technology to enhance both the creative and consumer experiences. 1. Headspace technology. Headspace technology, developed in the late 20th century, revolutionized the way perfumers capture the scent of living plants without extracting or damaging them. This non-invasive method allowed for a more accurate representation of natural ingredients, preserving the integrity of fragrant botanicals. 2. AI in perfumery. Artificial intelligence has stepped into the realm of perfumery, offering personalized fragrance experiences based on individual preferences and characteristics. AI algorithms analyze vast data sets to predict scent preferences, providing consumers with bespoke olfactory encounters. Gender fluidity and inclusivity. Breaking fragrance norms. Traditional gender distinctions in perfumery have blurred, reflecting the broader societal shift towards gender inclusivity and fluidity. 1. Unisex fragrances. The rise of unisex fragrances, epitomized by scents like CK1 in the 1990s, challenged the notion that certain scents were inherently masculine or feminine. Perfumers began creating gender-neutral compositions, emphasizing personal preference over societal expectations. 2. Inclusive marketing. Contemporary perfume marketing has become more inclusive, featuring diverse models and breaking away from traditional stereotypes. Brands like Biardo and Fleur have embraced a gender-fluid approach, fostering an environment where individuals feel free to explore fragrances that resonate with their personal identities. Sustainability and ethical sourcing. A paradigm shift. As environmental consciousness grows, the fragrance industry has undergone a paradigm shift towards sustainability and ethical sourcing. 1. Ethical harvesting. Perfumers are increasingly prioritizing ethical harvesting practices, ensuring fair wages, conservation of biodiversity, and environmental sustainability. Brands like Sonne Jardin empower female flower harvesters, promoting fair labor practices and environmental stewardship. 2. Natural perfumery. The resurgence of interest in natural perfumery reflects a desire for authenticity and a connection to nature. Perfumers are exploring traditional extraction methods and championing the use of pure, natural ingredients, aligning with the preferences of eco-conscious consumers. Challenges, regulatory pressures, and consumer awareness. The fragrance industry faces challenges related to regulatory pressures and the evolving awareness of consumers regarding ingredients and sustainability. 1. Regulatory scrutiny. Increased regulatory scrutiny has led to a reassessment of certain ingredients, particularly those perceived as allergens or potentially harmful. Perfumers must navigate complex regulatory landscapes, adapting formulations to comply with changing standards. 2. Consumer demand for transparency. Modern consumers are more informed and discerning than ever. There is a growing demand for transparency regarding the composition of fragrances, prompting brands to disclose ingredients and highlight sustainable practices. This shift in consumer expectations is reshaping the industry's approach to marketing and formulation. Future trends, personalization, and wellness. Looking forward, the fragrance landscape is poised to embrace trends centered around personalization and wellness. 1. Personalized fragrances. Advancements in technology, including AI, are enabling the creation of personalized fragrances tailored to individual preferences and lifestyles. Consumers can expect a more bespoke olfactory experience, where their unique tastes and moods are considered in the formulation process. 2. Wellness and aromatherapy. Fragrances that promote well-being and mindfulness are gaining traction. Aromatherapy, which utilizes the therapeutic properties of essential oils, is becoming integrated into fragrance formulations. Scents that evoke relaxation, stress relief, and positive emotions align with the growing emphasis on holistic wellness. In conclusion, the journey of perfumery from the industrial innovations of the 19th century to contemporary trends and challenges showcases a resilient industry that has embraced technological advancements, artistic revolutions, and societal shifts. The universal language of scent continues to bind humanity across time and borders, weaving a fragrant tapestry that reflects the evolving cultural, artistic, and ethical dimensions of our world. As perfumery strides into the future, it does so with a commitment to sustainability, inclusivity, and the ongoing pursuit of olfactory excellence. The advent of mass production in perfumery marked a transformative chapter in the industry's history, reshaping not only the manufacturing process, but also the way fragrances were marketed and consumed. From the rise of iconic brands to the recent emergence of niche and independent perfumers, this journey reflects the dynamic interplay between commercialization and artistic expression, mass production and iconic brands. The industrial perfumery revolution, the late 19th and early 20th centuries, witnessed a profound shift in perfumery with the onset of mass production. Industrialization brought about the standardization of manufacturing processes, allowing for large-scale production and broader accessibility. This era saw the rise of iconic brands that would come to define the olfactory landscape for generations. 1. Chanel No. 5 and the birth of modern perfumery. In 1921, Coco Chanel collaborated with perfumer Ernest Beau to create Chanel No. 5, a fragrance that not only became an iconic scent, but also symbolized the marriage of luxury and mass appeal. The use of aldehydes in Chanel No. 5 marked a departure from traditional perfumery, ushering in the era of modern, abstract compositions. 2. Eau Sauvage and Dior's olfactory couture. Christian Dior's foray into perfumery with the creation of Eau Sauvage in 1966 exemplified the integration of fashion and fragrance. Eau Sauvage, with its innovative use of hedione, became a benchmark for masculine fragrances, showcasing the influence of couture in the olfactory realm. 3. Calvin Klein's minimalism. In the 1980s, Calvin Klein revolutionized fragrance marketing with minimalist, provocative campaigns. Fragrances like CK1 embraced a unisex approach, challenging traditional gender norms and resonating with a youthful, cosmopolitan audience. This shift towards simplicity and inclusivity marked a departure from the opulence of earlier decades. The rise of niche perfumery. artistic revival, and personal expression. As the 20th century progressed, a counter-movement emerged against the homogenization of mass-produced fragrances. Niche perfumery, characterized by limited production runs and a focus on craftsmanship, offered an alternative to the mainstream. Independent perfumers sought to reclaim the artistry and individuality that seemed lost in the world of mass-produced scents. 1. Editions des Parfums. Frédéric Malle. Launched in 2000, Editions des Parfums. Frédéric Malle challenged conventional marketing by placing the perfumer's name prominently on the bottle. Malle collaborated with renowned perfumers, giving them creative freedom and bringing a curated collection of unique scents to discerning consumers. 2. Le Labo and personalized experiences. Le Labo, founded in 2006, disrupted traditional retail models by offering freshly blended, personalized fragrances on site. The brand's emphasis on craftsmanship, unique formulations, and a rejection of traditional marketing tactics resonated with a growing audience seeking a more intimate and bespoke olfactory experience. 3. Biardo and the olfactory narrative. Biardo, founded by Ben Gorham in 2006, brought a narrative-driven approach to fragrance. Each scent tells a story, evoking memories and emotions. Biardo's minimalist aesthetic and unconventional compositions challenged the mainstream, appealing to those seeking fragrances as a form of personal expression. The independent perfumer's renaissance, breaking boundaries and redefining luxury. In recent years, the landscape has witnessed a resurgence of independent perfumers, each with a unique vision and a commitment to pushing olfactory boundaries. This movement goes beyond niche perfumery, embracing a spirit of individuality and challenging established notions of luxury. 1. Serge Lutens and artistic vision. Serge Lutens, a photographer turned perfumer, founded his eponymous brand in the early 2000s. Lutens's creations, often complex and evocative, reflect his artistic vision. His perfumes, housed in distinctive bottles, transcend mere scents, inviting wearers to experience olfactory art. 2. Andy Tauer and handcrafted excellence. Swiss perfumer Andy Tauer epitomizes the craft of hand-blended, small-batch perfumery. Tauer's creations, known for their richness and longevity, showcase the artisanal side of perfumery. His commitment to quality ingredients and meticulous craftsmanship has garnered a dedicated following. 3. Guerlain's exclusive collections. Even long-standing heritage houses like Guerlain have embraced the concept of exclusivity through their limited edition and exclusive collections. These collections often revisit historical formulations, providing a sense of nostalgia while offering a rarefied olfactory experience.